Jason Cohen has a passion for fine furniture. His commitment to details and styles have his designs in great demand, and he does it mostly with recycled wood.
The wood, to me, it'll speak to me. I mean, it'll say, you know, this part of the wood needs to go on this side of the table, this part of the other piece needs to go on the leg. It all has to have a kind of continuity to it. The wood could have, you know, a knot in it or a streak, a mineral streak or something, and I like that. I think you should, you know, emphasize that part of it. I got into this, I was living in South Carolina, working as a kayak tour guide, and I ended up, the summer was over and I needed a job, and I looked in the paper and there was a job for stripping furniture. And I went in there and the guy said he wouldn't hire me because I didn't have any experience, and then we started talking and then he found out I was from Louisville, Kentucky, and I said, well, you know, what's the connection there? And he said, well, his wife is from Louisville, and we started talking and we found out we knew some of the same people. So, you know, he said he'd give me a try. So the first day I went in there, I stripped some furniture and stripped all the veneer off of this beautiful piece, and he didn't fire me. I learned my lesson the hard way the first time, and then after that, I just started reading and learning and taking classes and learning from him, and then it ended up being something I really loved to do and it was pretty good at. Had a good eye for color, I was good at designing, and after a while he just let me do whatever I want in the shop, and eventually I moved back up to, you know, Kentucky and started my own business in my parents' garage. I think I found my niche because when I was 16, I was in a car accident and I lost use of my left hand, and I used to be left-handed, so my brain worked from that side, and then all of a sudden it started working because I had to use my right hand on the other side. So I started to tap into, you know, different resources of my brain that I didn't know I had. It was, you know, I had a combination of using both sides of my brain, and that was really interesting to me. So woodworking was like the best tool for that. You don't have to have two hands to be a woodworker. You've got power tools, you've got hand tools, you've got people to help me. I mean, I have people come in to help me that are my left hand. I just think that it's made me feel less disabled. I'm working on a tray for a restaurant. These are tea trays. I start off with a block of wood just like this. I have a template that I have right here that I put on the piece of wood, and then I route out this cavity here. And I can get 10 out of a 5-foot piece of lumber, and I pretty much will use every little scrap. Even these scraps that get cut off here will be something else eventually. And I use a lot of recycled lumber. That is something I've been doing a lot of, is that almost every piece of wood in this shop is from someplace else. It wasn't cut down in a forest recently. You know, a lot of it's from bourbon ricks of old bourbon factories, or barns, or used, you know, veneer logs that nobody wanted, you know, things like that. I don't throw anything away. I do sculptures out of wood pieces. If you look upstairs, I have a huge inventory of scrap, and everybody calls it trash or throw it away. I don't. One day it will make something. I cater to the client. You know, if somebody comes in and says they've got this amount of money, we'll make something that fits that individual. You know, I have a fairly good clientele a year, and I probably make anywhere from 40 to 80 pieces a year, just depending on the year. Well, I get most of my ideas from the customer, usually, but we bounce the ideas off each other. I have a good, usually I have a good feeling about something when they tell me about a table they want made, and they want it to have 4 legs, and they want the top to be square, and I say, well, that's boring. Let's do something different. But still can have 4 legs and a square top. Let's just add things to it. You know, maybe change the edge, or do an inlay, or instead of having straight legs, do curved legs, things like that. I really enjoy the dovetail. I enjoy doing inlay with a jeweler's saw, things like that that people don't do anymore. Maybe people who make guitars, a Lutheran might do inlay on a guitar, but they don't consider doing it on a piece of furniture that intricate. I think that I try not to stain pieces. I try to make the wood speak for itself. The thing I'm most proud of is a conference table I made for a gentleman who's passed away recently, but he wanted me to make a table in the shape of a violin. And at that time I had no clue how to do something like that. That brought out the artistic side of me like never before. And he asked me to do inlay, and he wanted it to look like a surfboard, the top and the base was violins, and it ended up being the nicest thing I've ever made. The wood I think I like the most is Kentucky walnut. Harvested from here. I have a lot of it that people give me. A lot of the pieces that I make are from people who cut down lumber off their property, and usually it's walnut, and that's something that's very prized right now and very hard to get. I really don't use any exotic woods unless maybe a veneer or something. I'm from Kentucky, I might as well use what's around me. The restaurant was a very difficult operation for me. I had done 2 before that, but just some of the woodwork. This one, I was asked to do everything. Anything that's wood in this restaurant is made by me, literally me. They love the finished product.